Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Marketing is just earning trust at scale. Now, you might be wondering, what is he just saying? You know, as a coach or consultant, I know your goal, right, is to get more clients, customers, and actually generate more revenue and grow your online business. Then if that's not your goal, I don't think this is the right place for you because, you've got to be passionate about doing the work that you're meant to be doing and literally living an inspired life while you're doing it. And if that's who you are, then you're in the right place, my friend. My mission is to help coaches and consultants like you build a brand that you're proud of and create a lifestyle that you love. Today, we're going to be talking about trust and how you can earn trust at scale, right? Because each and every one of us understand, and I viscerally believe that people buy from those they know, like, and trust. No matter who you are, you might not have physically been in front of somebody, but something about the way you presented yourself to a prospect or what they've heard about you in the past got them to trust you enough to transact with you and continuously want to do that over and over again. And that's the kind of thing that builds more revenue within your business and actually grows it into something that's profitable and enjoyable. But how do you achieve this goal? You achieve it by earning trust. And what is it that you should do in order to scale and grow your online business? Again, you got to have people trusting you enough so they can talk about you at a barbecue and actually defend the existence of your business to strangers, even to people they just meet on a bus. Okay? And I understand for this to happen, you literally have to be producing trust at a scale, that is unheard of, because each and every one of our customers is starting their journey at any moment that they start, getting in touch with our content. And it says, science says, and studies have been conducted that say that it takes about 8 to 20 touch points for somebody to effectively trust you enough to give you permission to start selling to them. Because we basically do not start selling until somebody has given us that permission to sell to them. Okay, no matter what we think we're doing. So, whatever your business model is, you always need one very important thing, and that's always a steady flow of new customers. And how are you going to be doing that if nobody trusts you in the first place? Okay, so that's really the most important thing for scaling and growing your online business. And the more clients that you get, the more successful your business will actually become. Because without clients, hey, you do not have a business at all, because it's clients that are the lifeblood of the business, So there's a lot of ways for you to maybe build this business online, but most of them involve the number one hard to get thing, which is trust. So as you would notice, and as you would have seen as you are building your business, that hasn't been easy. You're probably one of those people cold calling potential clients and maybe having them hang up in your face because they don't trust you yet. You're probably sending out hundreds of emails without getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out, because you haven't built the trust and even asked for the permission or been granted the permission to market or to even sell to anyone else. Hence, you're now wasting thousands of dollars in ad spend without even generating any qualified leads. And if I'm talking about you right now, I want you to listen up. Okay, because I know what it feels like when it feels like nobody wants to buy what it is you're selling, and when you actually rely on your business to put, food on the table or pay rent, man, that would actually put an enormous strain on your emotion, and you'd have to maybe think of giving up on your dreams. But not all hope is lost. We're here today to talk about how you can literally start using your marketing so you can earn trust at a scale. Okay, we can't be everything to everyone, but we can be something to a lot of people. Okay, and in as much as we've been alive, I think the word marketing is now up there with all the other bad words, in our English language. The word marketing actually holds an enormous amount of connotations to each and our minds. Okay, it depends on the experience that we've had with some form of marketing, and I'm gonna be trying to explain to you what this is all about. But let me give you context as to why this is very important right now. Our customers are jaded. Okay, we've just come out of a place where, for the last 3 years, people have just been going through a pandemic, a virus that we're not sure who to trust, and all that was done through some form of marketing. All right, so you can now imagine if people have lost their way of life, they no longer trust just about anything else. And can you imagine them trusting people that they don't quite know yet? It's going to be a very difficult and uphill endeavor. So that's the reason why you, as a coach or consultant, you really need to start earning trust at scale. Okay, so like I'm saying, the word marketing is right up there with a lot of other bad words in our vocabulary, and it's got a lot of connotations depending on what you've experienced in your life. Some of it is positive. Okay, if you've been listening to the online prosperity experience and you've worked with us at Live Long Digital, you actually can feel the marketing. You can feel the love that we're projecting to you each and every day through this podcast, through our work. Because I've created Live Long Digital to provide value at no cost in excess of what the rest of the marketplace is charging for. Okay, so some of this stuff would be within like some sort of closed membership site where you have to sign up, with blood and things of that nature, just to pledge your allegiance to whoever that guru is disseminating that information. But with the online prosperity experience, you get all of this content free of charge, and in exchange I'm just hoping that you get to trust me, so that eventually we can do business together. Okay, and why is this? Well, let me tell you something. When we experience marketing that we actually don't like, we tend to remember it. Have you ever noticed that, when somebody has a bad experience with the business, they are going to go and tell 10 more people than when somebody has a good experience with the business? It's just inherent human nature. Okay, people are always going to report on any negative experience that they've received. Nobody ever talks about the good times. That's the reason why you have to work twice as hard to get half of what you would get if you've gotten a bad review or some sort of bad reputation. So when people are experiencing marketing that they actually like, or something that they don't mind, guess what? They usually don't remember it. Okay, so people do not quite know, when they're going through a funnel. Guess what they feel? They just feel heard. They don't experience the whole jumping through hoops or going through a product ladder or product funnel. Why? Because they feel heard. They feel like they belong. They feel like they're connecting a lot more with the brand that they're working with, and they actually get peace of mind. Why? Because you already know their needs before they ask, and they have status. Hey, if you start receiving the latest or stuff or events or information before other people receive it, you feel like you are a little bit better than other people in your circles, right? Wouldn't you be like that? But that still is marketing. So remember this: when marketing is bad, people will remember it. When marketing is bearable and it's good enough for them, hey, they will just go through the motions and things of that nature. So You want to be making sure that you're creating favorable environments and experiences so that your people get to know, like, and trust you. And I want to stress this, that people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And there's a lot of science behind this. There's things that is called a negative bias, which is actually evolutionary. We are still cavemen at heart, even if we've got running water and things of that nature. It is human nature that we actually just focus on the negative to keep us out of danger in order for us to survive. Okay, so negative things, a snake or tiger saber-tooth tiger, or a lion, or anything that's designed to kill you, you will remember that a whole lot than something that is well and pleasant and actually smells good. I've spent so many times trying to remember a cologne that I like best, and I can specify, because I don't eat eggs. I can tell you all the instances I've walked into a house and it smelled like eggs, and I can tell you exactly what I was wearing, because your brain stops to actually look at the environment and try and remember that scenario so that it doesn't happen again. So that's exactly what happens when people listen to a bad podcast. That's what happens when people watch a bad video. Your brain arcs up and it's like, nope, we don't want to experience this ever again. And guess what? It now sort of takes you away from any of those things. So that's the reason why you want to make sure that you have a lot more going for you in your marketing, and you're actually creating trust with every touch point, so that people don't skirt around you like you're a bad case of leprosy or some sort of disease that people don't want to have. Okay, so our brains, literally evolutionary, have a focus on the negative, and they actually keep us out of danger and helps us survive. And you can also imagine the world is just a negative place there. So if your marketing is not uplifting, is not putting people in a positive light and making other people's lives better, you, my friend, have to really look at your business model optimization so that you can create for and relate to the people that you're going to be demanding money off of. All right, so there's all this neuroscientific evidence that has shown that there's greater neural processing in the brain in response to any negative stimuli. All right, and we think that at the end of the day, it's usually easier to be a critic than to be a creator. How many people are in your social media newsfeed right now, just trolling you based on what you have put out there? And how many are actually creating content out there that is actually shaping and changing our culture? All right, so human beings are amazing at just pointing out flaws. So you want to make sure whatever you're doing in your marketing, you're really creating for those people that know, like, and trust you, and you're deepening those relationships instead of just trying to spray and pray with your marketing. Okay, all right, I've got a simpler explanation. I'm also confusing myself while talking about this. All right, so just pick this up. Good marketing, the type that you don't mind and may actually be enjoyable, takes a lot of hard work. Okay, it takes so much time, money, and effort to get it right, and that's where you really need to focus on. All right, and whereas something that's bad marketing, the type that you remember forever and complain online about, little work is involved in creating that. When you're spamming people, when you're just cold calling people that don't like, when you just clickbait, or when you're just putting out mediocre content out there, that's easy. All right, you haven't taken the time to really create from the heart, and nobody likes that. And guess what? It actually taints your brand. And since it's cheaper and faster to create it, a lot of people resort to just doing those kind of marketing strategies. And that's the reason why statistics actually say that people don't last that long in business. So there's a distinct relationship between the amount of work that you put in and the actual efficacy of your marketing. Look at what I'm doing every single day. I'm showing up. I don't even know who is listening to this podcast, but I'm there every single day at 12 p.m. on a working day, and I'm helping you create for and relate to your audience. One day, maybe you're going to revert back to me and say, hey, Prosper, because I listened to episode number 50. No, we only have 50 episodes in our seasons, right? So I listened to episode number 34 in season 5, and it actually changed the trajectory of my life. Okay. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I get it. As an entrepreneur, as a coach, or as a consultant, marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. You go from hiring and managing new staff, you're balancing books, you're driving growth, and a whole lot more. And it all feels like a constant balancing act where you pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And I understand at the end of the day, your real goal is just to help your clients. You want to spend as much time as possible, changing people's lives and solving people's problems. And you don't want to waste countless hours each day trying to navigate the whole world of online marketing and actually doing the good kind of marketing, you know what I mean? And certainly you don't want to spend yet another minute on the phone having to beg people to hire your services. But let me tell you something, you don't have to. You see, I don't. I still have a long list of clients who want to work with me. It's not because I'm a genius. It's not because I'm a master of persuasion either. It's because I take time to build trust in all the work that I'm doing. All right? Earning trust is a critical piece of sales. Nobody buys from you unless they trust you. They might buy from you without knowing you, but they trust the system. They trust the money. They trust the Visa system that they're using. If it doesn't work out for them, guess what? PayPal can issue out a refund, no questions asked. There has to be an element of trust. I remember when we were starting all this online stuff, people didn't want to buy stuff off of the internet because they didn't trust the setup of how it worked, They just thought it was putting money through some sort of a dark hole. But now we've grown to trust the internet system itself. Even if they don't trust you as a business, they trust the medium of exchange. If they don't trust what you're saying, they trust the platform from which they're listening that content from, because Spotify wouldn't allow me to put out information that wasn't real. They would censor me or things of that nature. So trust is inherent to the work that we're putting out in the internet. And there's trust that needs to occur, because you know what? When you're entering into any platform on the internet, you have to put in your email address. And for you to get an email address, there's a few other trust signals that need to happen in order for you to actually maintain and keep that email address. So trust is inherent in everything that we're going to be doing online. So earning trust is a very critical piece of the sales process. Yes, we want to increase revenue. Yes, we want to grow our businesses, but you don't grow your business without sales, and there's no sales without trust. So bad self-promo feels bad if it, because it actually skips that step of earning the privilege of asking for the sale. That's the reason why a lot of people, are afraid to put themselves out there, because they're not putting out any value, right? If you are giving value to people, you have every right to ask for the sale. If you have engaged with your audience, educated them, inspired them, and positioned yourself as the person who can solve their problem, wouldn't it be nice if you would actually ask them, hey, would you like fries with that? But not a lot of us are doing the hard work of actually creating for and relating to our audiences. That's why it's difficult for us to ask for the sale. So earning trust, that's the privilege of asking for the sale, as hard work. That is hard work. It takes years and a redemptive amount of time, money, and effort to get it right. And just to, while we're looking at that, you got to build an audience. And audience building should really just be called earning trust at scale, because you're starting somebody's journey every time you open your mouth. You're starting somebody's journey every time you put pen and paper to work. You're starting, somebody's journey towards the buying cycle every time they watch a video of yours. So audience building should really just be called earning trust at scale, because that's what it is. Earning trust at scale. That's real marketing. How are you talking to Sally in Bujumbura while you're talking to John in Istanbul at the same time at different points of their, buyer's journey? That is good marketing. I dare say, when you're actually helping people by actually helping them, having people from all walks of life coming to thank you and saying, because of you, I did not give up, because of your health, your wealth, or relationship advice that you've given them. Let's just unpack this and see what it actually means by honing in earning trust. Because a lot of people don't quite get what this means. They think that if their mother trusts them, if their brother trusts them, the whole world trusts them. It don't work like that. Because trust is the belief in, one, the reliability, the truth, or the ability of someone or something. Are you reliable enough that I can just put in my key and I know I will go from where I am, to the destination without having to worry about the engine falling off of the car or anything else? It has taken years for people to trust their mode of transport. It's quite funny. When I was growing up, my dad would wake up in the morning, even if he's not going anywhere, but he would start the engine, he would check the oil, he would check the water, and things of that nature. And I'm surprised that I don't even need to do any of those things. And I've had 3 or 4 different cars that I don't even know what the inside of the engine looks like. It's quite surprising because now we trust our cars so much that we don't even need to question whether they're producing, the right, I don't know why it was checking the oil for, you know what I mean? I don't even know what that was for. Or if they were thirsty enough. I don't think I've ever put water in my car. I don't even know where to put it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying this for real. Back in the time, I used to see my dad opening up radios and cleaning them up and any gadgets that we had in the house. If something breaks in our household, I can only open the battery section. If that's not working or that is flooded with the batteries, guess what? That thing is going in the bin. Because we've come a long way trusting our household objects, our model of transport and things of that nature. We trust the system so much. So it takes time to earn trust. And, with the work that you're putting out there, do the people that you want to listen to that work, do they know what you're talking about? Do they know what you should be talking about? Do they know what they should be listening to? And that's what people are always asking. What's in it for me? Does this person know what they're talking about? Will this product really do what it said it will do? Will this thing solve my problem? Because every time a product is bought, a contract is signed. You click on a link, that's accepting terms and conditions. That's signing a contract. And that's demonstrating trust. Nobody reads all those 20,000 pages from Apple. They just know the phone is going to work. Both in personal and business relationships, there are continuous exchanges. There are contracts of trust that we have. We trust people with our kids every time we leave our kids at the kindergarten. Every time we punch in that button to go into a kindergarten, it's reinforcing that if somebody doesn't know that code, then that means they can't enter. They're reinforcing that trust. And all exchanges in life require trust. I give you this, you give me that in return. Let me tell you something. Trust can't be bought. It has to be earned. And it's hard-won and very, very easily lost. Have you ever noticed when an airline does something crazy and automatically everybody starts canceling their flights with that airline because they've lost trust with that airline? So much has to be done to enforce trust within the travel industry. Right now, every single time we are told, when you get into an airline, where the exits are, how the things work out. But, once every 5 or 6 years do we hear of a plane accident. But they want us to trust that airlines will make it safe to our destination. So trust is a brand's most valuable asset. It must be protected at all costs. How are you protecting the trust that you're gathering every single day with your clients? But let me tell you something. Once you have it, though, you have it. Like that's for real. If somebody has been listening to this podcast since its inception and now they're listening to this episode, that's trust right there. And I appreciate you. Having someone trust means they're going to listen. It means they're going to buy. It means they're going to refer. and they'll come back tomorrow, and you gotta earn that. So you know what? You gotta do this at scale. Every single time that you're putting out content out there, you've identified your target market, you clarified your message, and just put out the media that you really need out there, so that people can continuously gain trust with you. And if you're putting out really good emails, you can do it at scale. And we can literally help you with that. Because if you come to us, we'll work hands-on with you and develop a strategic plan and then deep dive and work through your ideal client clarity, because the people that you're going to be reaching out to really need to trust you. And once we've got that, we start sending out strategic messaging to reinforce that trust. And the offers that you're going to be giving out to people will then solidify the transaction part of that trust earning process. If you haven't got any of that, we'll just look at your business model optimization and then help you set up your marketing engine and lead generation system so you can consistently attract the ideal customers and reinforce trust inside of them. We have to do it at scale, guys, because you can't be everywhere at any moment. So with the internet, we're in the age of sort of infinite leverage. We're creating media, and anyone with a mic can start a podcast. Anyone with a camera can start, a video. I remember Oprah saying that her production costs were over the roof when she started, because she had to have, cameras in the studio, production people, broadcasting rights and things like that. But these days, anyone with a pair of sweatpants and a laptop can literally start their business today. Anyone can sign up, a Twitter account and start tweeting. Anyone can spin up a Facebook or Meta account and start going into the metaverse. Anyone can start writing a blog. Anyone can start recording a podcast or, start a YouTube channel. You can connect with anyone in the world in an instant with your media. There's now, that whole 6 degrees of separation is now 6 pixels of separation. You can literally send, King Charles or whoever you want an email today if you wanted to. You see, not only is media creation being sort of democratized, media distribution also is now in the hands of the people. Not only can you just buy ads, my grandma can literally boost a photo of her grandkids so that all her relatives can see it. Anyone's content can rank on the first page of Google if they do the right things. Anyone's tweet can go viral, etc. You get the idea, right? But look at the root of the word leverage, right? You've got the word lever inside of it. Levers are force multipliers. How can you use now that what we have, at scale to really reach a lot of people? Because without leverage, you're confined to maybe a linear relationship between the one person that you can speak to and try and get them to know, like, and trust you. Do you know what I mean? Whatever effort you're going to be putting out there, you're going to need so many people trusting you at so many different points of their journey. If you don't have that leverage, you're going to have one connection at a time, one relationship at a time, one sale at a time. That doesn't grow your business. But with the leverage that we now have of the internet, you can literally access a lot of non-linear relationships, that you can take advantage of. But all of that requires trust in order for it to perpetuate itself. You can now have many connections at once, many relationships at once, many sales at once. So herein lies the difference between marketing and sales, which you really need to take note of. Marketing is sales, but the other way around and at scale. Sales is one-on-one. Marketing is one-to-many. So leverage is what now gives, you the opportunity to reach as many people as possible. There's so many people that need to hear your message, your training, your consulting, your information, your expertise. And leverage gives way to compounding, all right? Building on top of your successes. But trust is the medium, because compounding allows you to reach, a lot more people and reap huge rewards from small, seemingly insignificant actions. So maybe you can just improve your website conversion rate, or you can just start tweeting in a better way. Let me tell you something, man. Or maybe you can start writing an article every single week, and traffic may be small at the beginning, or you can start your podcast. It might be small at the beginning, but over time, a rising tide actually lifts all the boats. And, the culmination of your traffic can actually be remarkable. But trust has to be that underlining factor. Because if there's no trust, nobody's going to want to share anything that you're selling. Yeah? I think it was Seth Godin that says we can definitely spend time worrying about building the tsunami, but it's the drip, drip, drip that will actually change everything in the long run. When you hear that something was once an ocean and it's now a desert, it didn't happen, in one single blow. It was one river, that drained the ocean up until it became a desert. So it's small choices plus consistency plus time, you get significant results. I think it was also Ernest Hemingway that says the sun also rises. And that can be applied to both success and failure. If somebody asks you, how did you get bankrupt? 2 ways. It happens gradually and it happens suddenly. Suddenly is when you actually then have to sign the bankruptcy papers, but gradually is all the things that you're doing that are not leading you towards, success in life. Gradually, then suddenly. This perfectly sums up what happens when you put, a lot of hard work in sort of earning trust and scale every single day. Then one day you look up and your sales are flooding in, your open rates put a smile on your face, and you might even be kind of internet famous. Gradually, then suddenly, you want to start earning trust at scale. That is marketing, my friend. So the question is, who are you actually trying to reach out to? Whose trust are you trying to earn? How are you going to earn it? Which levers are you going to use to focus on pulling that trust? And how are you going to maintain that trust? Like I said, marketing is earning trust at scale. Let's go after it. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au